You ever wear a mask? I've ran through at least 5 different versions of what this recording will end up being. I abandoned them all because they're too complex. They bored me. I wonder why. Why did I become so particular all of a sudden when my goal is simple to make an entry every day? Something someone would watch, you know? For whatever reason, the last video where I went on for 44 minutes about, well, philosophically went on for 44 minutes. While it appears mundane, I understand that. Personally, it was so psychologically impactful that it just sent me into like a spiral. I don't really understand. I kind of do, but know myself well enough to see it as the origin of the persona that I wear in life. It may not seem impressive here. But it's beside the point. Suppose it is, you know, suppose you walk through life in the presence of other people in such a way as to like make them behave towards you in ways that they would not otherwise. Are you not familiar with that idea? I'm pretty sure you are, if you really thought about it. And if you were not, you will be, you know. The only reason the thing I choose to talk about here, right now, it's probably too personal. Not too personal to talk about, but too personal for you to understand, given, I don't know, I've only been doing this for a week or week and a half maybe, is that in my personal life, and so you strange person, whoever you are, I'm trying to let you into my personal life. For as long as I've existed, have been a person that other people regarded as having a dual nature. And somehow on top of that, never, ever, ever having a reputation for being duplicitous, that is like lying or being a traitor to something. Being supremely honest, right? To the point of naive stupidity. Many people, maybe most people who are close to me in life, would fondly categorize me as an idiot. And I don't even hold that against them, you know. But at the same time being sophisticated and beyond the comprehension of any contemporaneous convention. So what? So nothing. So this is me. This is how I feel today. I was going to do a follow-up, like an epistemological housekeeping, but the last entry that I made will stand as like my failed attempt at a philosophical white paper, you know. It's more of a crumpled cocktail napkin. Fine. But I was my point is, I watched the thing about 5 times. 5 40-minute sessions, and was, although I appreciated the ideas that I put forth, I was so like repulsed by the image of myself as the neurotic philosopher, and how naturally it came out of me that I went through a cycle emotionally that you could describe as grief, you know. I'm not so vain as to make that my entire world, but that was going on somewhere in my brain, you know. I guess I had very high hopes, and I didn't feel the payoff from that. So I felt the pain. And after I got myself together, well, and so I got myself, I recovered from that. What is today, the 10th? So it's been 48 hours approximately, in the same way that I always do. And that leads me to an explanation for like the nature of the duplicity, the duality, not the duplicity, of my character, for which I'm so mysteriously known. I didn't like the way I looked. It hurt me to see myself. Therefore, it hurt me to be me, right? And so, instinctually, that's important. This isn't a plan. I didn't get advice on this. Something in me Do you have any idea how many pairs of sunglasses I own? Put on a black shirt and black sunglasses. This is funny. This is cute. I can look when I usually look much tougher than this, I guess. I'm usually able to scare the crap out of people. So yeah, I got dressed up for myself and I looked at myself. I look at myself now and I feel much better. Why? Before I even say, why do I do this? How do I do this? How did that happen? Not a plan. I mean, I've got a black shirt hanging in my closet. I've got the glasses. I kind of like unconsciously collect resources and artifacts and more importantly, postures, attitudes. I want to be an actor, right? I think a lot of things from decades of cool. I'm a person who's absorbed decades of cool and somehow incorporated themselves these little elements silently into my own behavior. As like a psychological anesthetic, you know? There's a big thing of beer, but I'm not into drugs. I'm not into I don't like abuse. I don't like degradation. It's bad for you, you know? Generally, I try to avoid things that are bad for you. And so I dress myself up and go outside and live out how I feel. And the funny thing is that people respond to that. I don't get off on that, their response to me, but it does act as like a confirmation or a signpost of some kind that I don't know what it says, but I get the impression that I am visible, and that gratifies me in some strange way that alleviates however I felt before. I feel dignified. I don't know why that's important, but it is. Dignity is probably much more important to human beings than you would think. Talked about certainty last time. So dignity is probably up there too. The list of values is Quixotic. It's cryptic. It's not what you think they are. The things that you want, the things that I want, the things that a human being needs to feel healthy. The UN has not reached a consensus. The jury's still out. I don't, maybe this is just an exploration. I think it is. But it's also kind of magical too. Like when you explore in this way, the domain of personification, you become what you pretend to be. Possibly because you can't really do a good job at pretending at anything that you aren't actually already, even if it lurks in like the proverbial shadow of your personality. These things are very real. Valuable ideas. One, because they're fundamental and speak to everyone. That's a tenet of value. And then two, no one seems to really understand this. Most people don't seem to understand this. So you can be ahead of the curve on something fundamental. Is that not the prime investment opportunity? I feel like there's a point I could pull out of that, but I'll just leave that for you. To give a little credit to Tom Hiddleston and the character of Loki. The premiere came out last night. It was great. Watching the scene where Owen Wilson grills Loki. God, I feel like I'm there. I feel like I've been there. You know? And so, in my own way, I'm imagining you as he and myself as the character on the hot seat, being asked over and over again, why does he do what he does? What's your deal? This is my fucking deal. I may be snarky about it, but privately, and this may be a construct of my own mind, you know, which would be adorable and childish, yet ironically sophisticated is that I love you for doing something for me that I couldn't do myself. You know, without that kind of pressure. Well, I don't know. You know, it gives me a reason to be honest. That there's no substitute for. It's probably a vital part of communion, you know. You don't have a reason to grow up or become or fulfill or be stronger without someone without something outside yourself. But the only thing that you'll ever find outside yourself that you can communicate with, so it's easy to understand what you need to do and be, is another human being. That's why human beings are special, to me at least. You know? That's kind of a big statement. I was going to go ask someone on a date tonight. She works at a bar. But I'm already drinking beer. It's those little things that add up week after week, you know? Do you want to hear about that? Probably not. Maybe I'll just leave that for now. Meh, meh, meh. Alright, guys. I still want to be an actor more than ever. Well, it's been like a couple days. Oh, that gave me an idea to say something. And I'll probably leave that. I'd like to serve other people. But before I do that, I want to be served. It's absolutely true. And I'm the person that has the authority to say that. What is the fact that that's non-negotiable say about me? That's something I wonder. Does that make me an adversary or an ally? Does that make me wise or childish? We'll find out. In the same way that I probably won't make a video along the lines of the previous one, where I was like so open or vulnerable. I probably won't make another video like this where darker. The point is that we get used to each other. I'm still getting used to the idea of you doing this. You know, I can pretend I feel one way or the other about it, but I don't know what to make of it still. And I sympathize, not sympathize, but I know you know how I must feel. And that's good enough for me. At the end of the day, like, that's what makes me want to stick with this. So let's stick with it. Happy Thursday. No idea what I'm going to come up with tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see.